Hi everyone, Coach Windows here, the Alignment Architect. Welcome back. Please share, like, subscribe in 2025. Help me grow a bit more. Today is a story about how to eliminate suffering in your life. So I had to think about what was the common theme in 2024, and this is the one that really struck me as being a really good starting point in 2025. Key bucket in life, there's 4 of them. Number 2 for me is relationships. And in relationships, we've got to be careful not to take things so personally. You're a mind. Once you accept that in here, this mind of yours is running off doing things all day, every day. Fight, flight, freeze, positive, negative. There's a lot going on up there. And a lot of us are not really aware of what's going on in that mind. So here's a little bit of a story around what can happen if we choose a different thought right there in the heat of battle that can get us a completely different outcome if we put a little bit of awareness and a little bit of space in our life before we react. One of the videos I did towards the end of the year, which had got a lot of talking points for me, was wrong mind, right mind. So you're a mind, and part of your mind will give you some wrong information, but if you're listening to it carefully, it'll give you the right information, but you have to pay attention to that bit. So let's take a scenario that I've come across in the last few weeks. Friends, we've all got them. But what happens when they say or do something that triggers you, that you don't like? Trigger goes off. Do you then react and say something to them back straight away? So you're saying and doing things to each other right there in the moment. That trigger then gets, after that heat of battle's gone on, the trigger gets a little bit weaker, but then how do you feel? If you look at the S, the A and the O, SAO, what's the situation? What action did you take and what outcome did you get? Now, with our friends, and I see a lot of this in sporting clubs, we're all together a lot of the time. So at different points, we don't really know each other well enough to know when someone's going to say or do something that's going to hit that trigger inside of us and make us feel the wobble, the funk that I talk about. And the outcome is I react and then I say something or do something that I wish I didn't do. Let's flip that from an out of alignment moment to an in alignment moment, which is what we talk about, the alignment architect. So now let's go through this. If I was in my right mind and really tuned in, tapped in, turned on, my friend would say or do something, and in that moment, rather than a trigger go off, I'd catch it and go, oh, I can feel that feeling, that funk or that wobble going inside of me, but I'm gonna just breathe for a second. Without the person really being aware, or before you respond, you're just instantly drawn to your breath. And just once you're drawn to your breath, you are in the present moment. You've drawn everything back into, hang on, how do I really want to react here? And this is a very, very powerful thing to learn. And being in alignment with this part of your mind can transform your life. It definitely will eliminate the suffering. So what do you do after those couple of breaths? You're asking yourself, what action do I take? Is that person really here trying to hurt or upset me? And the answer is usually no. They've just said something. Maybe you've been sharing too much information with them and then they've just repeated something that you've said to them and gone, well, hang on, how dare you say that to me? That's how we're wired, unfortunately, just to go below the line. We need to stay above the line if we really want to get our life going the way we want it to go and eliminate suffering. So what is the action that we could take here? Well, I'm going to let that one go. I imagine a cricket ball whizzing past my ear, smacking into the keeper's gloves and going, I'm going to let that one go through to the keeper. I'm not going to let that ball hit me and do some damage because I don't think the person that's saying it or doing it to me is actually trying to upset me. If we put some space in between the action and the outcome and the situation and the action, all of a sudden, what outcome can we get here? We feel very powerful because we've taken control of a situation and we've decided to do what we think is the right thing to do. We've listened to our intuition. There's nothing serious going on here. You remain at peace and you remain happy. What you can do in that moment there, and later you go back and check with that friend if it's really bothering you still 24 hours later, you know, is everything okay? You mentioned such and such, it hurt me a bit, but if you really need to go there, but most of the time you don't. For me, keep your hands on the wheel. What do I mean? If you're driving a car down the street, imagine even on the freeway, and someone said to you, oh, just take your hands off the steering wheel, everything will be okay, that car's going to crash. And a lot of the time, that's what we're doing with our life and our mind. We're taking our hands off the steering wheel and letting the car go wherever it needs to go, or our life go wherever it needs to go. No. If you keep your hands and you start driving the car and taking the car and arrive at the destination, the outcome is you get what you want, not what other people are triggering you into doing. Make better choices in 2025. How do we do that? You just got to start, if you can become far more aware of your breath and regulate your emotions a bit better, you can make far better choices that don't allow you to go to bed at night thinking everyone's against me and the world's not working. This happens in the corporate world where you've got a boss and you've got relationships with people, your mum, your dad. You think about all the relationships you've got with people around you. Think about it. How much of this am I taking personally, and then I'm getting myself into a wobble and a funk? I implore you, have a good think about this. Start to think about just during the day. Am I conscious of my breathing? That'll get you into this right mind state and help you remain really present. You'll make better choices and live a better life, and you'll get back into alignment with the better version of yourself. Why not allow your best self to lead? Good luck in 2025.